Mr. Speaker, to my brother Senator, I think you know Tala in our community are revered people and they are very Solomonic. Mr. Speaker, what we have done today by forgiving the 4 colleagues is needed Solomonic wisdom and patience that you exercise today. So I think that is what I meant. I say look like, and that is the use of euphemism. The issue of some, I want to correct really. Some of the Mau have been compensated, Mr. Speaker. So this is not a unique issue. And you know the issue of land is a motive. Professor Tomo Jenda, who is the senator of KISII, who is not here, wrote a book called Principles of Conveyancing. In his opening remarks, he says in Africa, land is a very emotive issue. So this is a very dicey issue that we need to handle carefully, to relook, because these Doropos, Mr. Speaker, are being chased out of forest. They are living on the pathways and the roads within the forest, Mr. Speaker. And that is the worst human indignity, Mr. Speaker. And even as we talk today, Talai has never also been compensated, Mr. Speaker. Some of the Mau were compensated, others were left out, Mr. Speaker. And you know, I remember, and I want to appeal to President William Ruto. You remember during the last parliament, Mr. Speaker, during the State of the Nation of Address, I don't know which year, the former president committed 10 billion for compensation of historical injustices, be it in Ukambani, costs, even in everywhere. They had committed 10 billion Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker. What I want to appeal to government is that let that 10 billion be rebudgeted again, so that as the Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, and even the Lands Committee and other sectors, Mr. Speaker, you have a kitty that you can compensate these people that have suffered, Mr. Speaker, not including but not limited to even buying land, Mr. Speaker, giving them cash, Mr. Speaker, to resettle them, compensating them, Mr. Speaker, because these are the people that have suffered, Mr. Speaker. So Nandi, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, is that most of our people in Nandi suffered. And when you go to Tindred, Mr. Speaker, part of Nandi Hills, and even the multinationals, Mr. Speaker, some of the multinationals, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I saw an expose by BBC about sex for work in some of the multinational estates in Kericho, Finlays and others, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion. That is just part of the greatest authorities that multinationals have committed. Even when you go to Nyamira or any other part of this country where multinationals were there, talking about sex for work, Mr. Speaker, is a small atrocity that multinationals have committed. The worst is they were able to dispossess, uproot, even kill people to create space to plant some of those tea, Mr. Speaker. Even as those people in wherever they take their tea, be it Lipton or any other form of Kenyan tea across the world, that tea is tainted with blood. And the earlier those multinationals come and sit and compensate our people, the better. Because the issue of sex for work is something that, Mr. Speaker, should be investigated. The police should arrest the people who are supposed to. This is violations against Mr. Speaker, and it was sad that an international media station was running a documentary, Mr. Speaker, that was outraging. And therefore, I want to appeal that this matter must be resolved as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. The jailer committee, which my predecessor, I think part of it we also handle land historical justice, Senator Commissioner Okongo Mugeni. But today, Mr. Speaker, is very humble. I don't know which medicine you gave him. But the point I wanted to make is that there is a tradition that will always be taken into place. Mr. Speaker, with those very many remarks, I thank you and congratulate the petitioner.